It's always great to be part of your daily itinerary. This is Enterprise Television, and you're watching Enterprise Morning. I am Henry.
And I'm Choma Okono.
Right, and GV, we're going to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning. And right after that will be our main conversation also for today. So I will get everything all produced and sorted out for you. Please do well to be part of our community. Have a say in what we say. You can always find us at enterprisetvnews.com, and also do like, comment respectfully, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV. 7. With us today in the studio to do justice to all that we have and peruse through our newspaper headlines, Cyril Abaku, journalist and public affairs commentator, and also we have Barrister Vanso Fele, barrister, law and public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
And welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kickstart our review today. But most interestingly, let's talk about the celebration, the worthy celebration of Citizen Jones Usain 50th unbroken year as a broadcaster in Nigeria, hosted by, yes, we, Enterprise Television. Let's talk about it for a bit. Let's start with you, Cyril Abaku. You're a journalist and media personality. For someone who had celebrated 5 decades as a broadcaster, how much is that?
Well, I have barely gone over a decade. But so this is someone who has done 5. That's quite a milestone. Yes, it's a milestone because my generation is one that is being pulled by a lot of distractions, perhaps, or a lot of things that legitimately feel that they should pull you away. E.g., the economy. It's thought that people just come into journalism after 5 or 6 years, they ask whether this can pay the bills anymore, and they want to run away. They're looking for a psycho-professional address. But Citizen Jones is someone who personally has influenced my own trajectory as a journalist, because I came into the profession at the time he was, in a manner of speaking, at his prime. So he was an example that I looked up to in terms of his intellectualism, in terms of the fact that he's a philosopher of some sort, in terms of the fact that he was an example in many respects. His integrity, his simplicity, his willingness to teach, whether it is convenient or not. His desire to see the younger generation grow. Okay, so I recall that we were in employment in the same space by the same employer when he won Broadcaster of the Year 2014 thereabout. It was a big thing. Of course, he had been announced. He had emerged announcer of the year 1980. That was many years ago, of course. And then 2014. Even if he gave Citizen Jones all the awards in this world, he's an award in himself. So, but for us at Enterprise TV, it was a big thing because it looked as if here was excellence, here was consistency, here was passion, here was fidelity to the profession. That was literally going unsung. The singer, Mr. Jones himself, was at the risk of becoming an unsung hero in his own generation, in his own lifetime, in his own country, where a lot of legends had been made under his own imprimatur. So to imagine that, in spite of having made others become big names, he was sitting down in one quiet place, unnoticed. He was going to go unnoticed. Enterprise TV thought this would be an anomaly.
All right.
And
yes. Interestingly, of course, we have the CEO, MD, Enterprise Television, of course, also double as a barrister and an analyst, a very core one here, right here with us at Enterprise Television. I'd love to ask, what made you host this great mind?
Yes, I think I've known Citizen Jones for over 2 decades, and why I felt it was necessary for us to do this was because I have seen him over the years in the profession, his consistency, accountability, and professionalism. He stood out among so many of them, and I've been at it for 50 years and still counting. So I felt I have not seen enough awards. I have not seen enough institution celebrating him. And I felt that Enterprise TV should, do something remarkable that will challenge every other group anywhere in the profession or outside the profession to look towards the direction of this institution. St. Jones is not just a broadcaster. With it, it carries a lot of knowledge, in and outside the profession, and had been the great prologue master. He writes prologue in ways that during the days of Kubanji Direct on Radio Continental, it was drive time, and we looked up to that. Once it is 7 p.m. every day, that voice will come on, and after the prologue, you are just so, the experience was wonderful. And when I was about to start up Enterprise TV, I went to meet him, and I told him what I intend to do. Like everything I do in my life, I do it by faith. And one of the things he told me is that TV is capital intensive. How are you going to sustain it? I said, there's no problem. We'll sustain it. Let's just start up. And he supported us. He was there at the beginning and all that. He did the montage, which we still use, and some other things. Some other persons contributed towards that. So I wouldn't forgive myself if I don't do something like this. So this is also my contribution to his excellence. I mean, his devotion. You know, and this is not to say that we have done what no one can do. The floodgate is open for anyone, any institution who feel this man deserves this. And to see that the likes of the master himself, Sonny Rabo, was at the event as the chairman. Joseph Amoru, distinguished analyst, was there. The guest speaker,
yes, Abigail.
Yes, Professor Abigail Adiguji, second female professor of mass communication in Nigeria, and we had a couple of Babajide Kolatoju of TVC Journalist Hangout, and Citizen Jones himself.
Sorry, the mommy from Citizen Jones's class of trainees.
Yes.
When he went on to make his debut 74, Mommy
Yes.
Omera was
Yes,
also there.
was also
Thank you,
there.
Barrister Evans. Abako, Mr. Abako, you've actually been attracted, or you've actually loved Citizen Jones for a while. Now, if you're to describe him in 3 words, and you're to say this is what you've picked in your years of communicating and having a relationship with Citizen Jones, what would you say about him?
In my review of the book, I refer to his communicative genius. So he is a literary genius, right? Genius is one. Simplicity is another. Professionalism is another. I think these 3, for me, will do the deal. Again, Barrister has mentioned a couple of names, which Enterprise TV will remain forever indebted to, because a lot of them are very short notice. And this was basically the work of volunteers. Enterprise TV volunteered, and all when we were marketing the program, we said, look, this is the work of volunteers. Time will fail us to mention all the awardees, the analysts who got awards, including the compares, Innocent Adulo, Mama Kotabo. They all came, some of our friends in radio, where he has worked over the years. Some of them are informed at the last minute, but they all showed up because the man's life and his work commands that sort of loyalty. And frankly, he personifies that quality that up and coming broadcasters should embody. That willingness to learn, okay, and then to teach also, and then to also take the job as more than just a profession, but at the risk of putting it this way, as life. You cannot if your grammar wasn't correct, it is supposed to correct you, whether it was on a bus, whether he will correct you.
Because I actually wanted to ask Choma, you learned under him. What would you say were those things that you would remember and say, yeah, Citizen Jones?
One thing I love about Citizen Jones is the fact that he's always willing to teach and be unapologetic about it.
Yes.
He's always willing to communicate and impact, even if he do not know you from anywhere. There's no history. There's no place he has met you before. You would meet Citizen Jones and always remember him, because you would always learn something, consciously or unconsciously.
Very true. And he always say, oh boy, it is not pronounced this, it's pronounced this. Yes. Yes. Awesome.
Barrister Evans, shortly before we get into something else, how well has he influenced your journey, even though you are a barrister? Because he should have actually sprinkled some of his light or some of his color on you.
Yes, I got my first radio at the age of 6. Radio. My father used to send me to go buy a newspaper when I was barely 7. And Daily Times then, in the early 80s. So we sent me to go and buy that. I will buy the newspaper and I will sit down. Then in Kaduna, I will sit somewhere by the road, the pavement, to read some part of it before I give it to him. Because if I give it to him, he will go to work with it. He will not come back until 2. I will not return to school until 3, from school until 3. Then I will read to him in the evening, at bedtime. So I developed that literary consciousness from a very young age before I heard him on Radio Nigeria as a child.
Really? Citizen Jones, who said?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Now, he started broadcasting in 1974. I think I heard him in 86. Is he 86? But I didn't meet him. I met him 20 years ago. But I heard him that early. And I recognized the voice. Okay. So when he started Kubanji Direct, that's when he left FRC. It was easy to access him because that was in the mainland. So I walked up to him one day and I told him I want to come for the parlor show. There's a show we call the parlor show. And he asked me whether I've been on radio before, on TV before. I said, yes. You understand, I've been, as a child, I've been writing articles for newspaper then and all that. I won a couple of writing awards, secondary school. In my university days, I was in the Department of Law, but I contribute to the media in school. All those magazines in school.
Magazines, yeah.
Yes, I contribute articles, stories, short stories, so many things. So I've been writing way back. So, and if Citizen Jones is poetic, and whenever I hear poetry anywhere, if you write something and you color it with poetry, I'm always interested because of the beauty of language and the reviving nature of the poetic communication. You understand? So I always will go there, and it was not difficult for me to, blend up, and I learned a lot from it. I remember then during the Kubanji Direct program, when he starts his prologue, I had a book then where I will, as fast as possible, I will try to pick as many as I could pick then. Sometimes I record it and replay. I am that deep into things like that. That's what gives me, value and all that. So before we met, and the rest is history.
Okay.
And that we were able to host this event, was all by the help of God. Not that we had all the resources, but we thank God that we made it. And the man is happy. He called me yesterday twice, sent messages. His family, they're all grateful that we're able to do this at this time. This economy and all that. We thank God for it.
Yes, and I think it's very important that we state here that the prologue itself, I guess it's on sale, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it? All right. So you can actually get a copy. Well, we will let you know the best way you can get a soft copy of that.
I think it's on the screen.
It's okay. All right. Beautiful. So it's on the screen right now. So you can get a copy wherever it is you want to get it from around the world. You can get it. Is there a price for it?
10,000.
10,000 naira. So maybe, of course, you can do more if you're in the diaspora. Of course, yeah. So we'd love to say once more, congratulations to Citizen Jones, Hussein, and we wish you more years in broadcasting. So quickly, let's launch to another daily today, or the first daily for today, the Punch newspaper, where we have it, a do poll. The PDP alleges Reagan as APC or Webolo wins. Okay,
moving on the top strip of the Punch newspaper. Fresh tariff hike looms as monthly power subsidy hits 181 billion naira.
All right, also we have on the top strip there why Wabara was denied job slot at FCC.
Okay, still on the top strip on the PDP crisis, Atiku backs anti-Demagogue NWC members. 1 year after, Tinubu yet to appoint ambassadors for 109 nations, embassies that is. And then moving on, 18-year-old man arrested with cannabis in Lagos. Details are on page 4 and 5.
Finally, DSS frees 6 hunger protesters to arraign a tree. By Stefan Sofeli, is that good enough to say congratulations to those in authority? At least they've done well, don't you think so? Out of 1,444, they've released 6.
They not see the person that they arrested. What is their offense? What is their offense? These people that they arrested, they've not done it. They are still breaking the law, holding people illegally. What are the offense they commit that? I mean, the government have already shown that it's not democratic. Okay, so all this demonstration now, demonstration of lack of adherence to the rule of law. A government that cannot adhere to the rule of law has failed. It does not matter the resources it's distributing, or the palliative is given, or the hike in price, or whatever they are creating, or the lack of price control. The government has failed completely. Because when people agitate, they agitate because of failings in areas of the economy. And the best you could do is to look for a way to assuage their suffering, or ameliorate whatever it is that's wrong with them, which is even a byproduct or the resultant effect of your bad policy. So the next thing to do is not to throw them into detention. Am I analyzing what you're asking?
Very well.
So the best thing to do is not throw them into detention, but to look for a way to, help them out of their current predicament. Nobody wakes up in the morning seeing good policies, seeing things working very well, and then carry placards or carry arms against society, or start protesting just for no reason. You understand? I know that there are places in the world where people go to protest to say that the government is doing too much, that the government should reduce some of the things available that they are giving the citizens. When our case is different, the citizens have to beg for everything. They beg for lights or provide for themselves. They beg for social amenities or provide for themselves. So the citizens are overstretched. Now, when you now ask them to need to buy fuel at that amount, look at what you said now. The price of the commodity is now about 1,000 plus. You read one of the news there that said that subsidy has reached how many billion?
Yeah, the tariff to hike more as reached 181 billion naira.
You understand? So I don't know what we're going to. No one is really, except for maybe few, less than 25% of Nigerians are employed. Less than 25%. And almost over, from that 25%, more like 15% are underemployed. They are employed, but what they get is not sufficient. Then the vast majority of 75% are unemployed and they have no hope.
Thank you, Barrister Evans. Now, over to you, Sir Labako. The defendants were accused of collaborating with that's the British citizen, for inciting the government, and also with other inscriptions to incite dissatisfaction to the government. Is it right to attribute this protest to the British citizen? Because he's been to and fro into Nigeria for 25 years. If he can incite during the Tinubu's regime, why did he do that during the Buhari regime? Or are they trying to just make it look as though he is the problem, or he actually influenced the citizens to come out for the end bad government protest?
Well, disaffection towards government, you see, those are very nebulous things to say. If you watch some interviews of late on Nigerian TV screens, people have been very, very heavily critical of government. I don't think that some of the comments we have had have been particularly helpful in making people love government. So when you pick one individual and say they are trying to cause disaffection, so to what end? I have to tell you very for free that this so-called treason or treason felony that they are bringing again, it is not easy to prove. It is not very easy to prove. And that the man ran a bookshop, all of this now, you see, it's the rationale because we've led the substantive question of protest and what are to be discussing inanities. Okay? It shouldn't be too difficult to link. We are seeing what's happening to Sean Diddy Combs in America. If an allegation as weighty as regime change is on the table, we can't be moving at this snail speed. You arrested Adam Soshomole and said he couldn't go. He shouldn't go for the conference in the UK.
Not Adam Soshomole.
Joe.
Joe.
Okay, so then you released him after some hours because NLS said if you don't release him, we'll shut Nigeria down. And what has come of it? Believe me, if they had the evidence and Nigeria was truly culpable, and those people that they've arrested are truly culpable and the British citizen, by now we should have been moving further on the matter. But assuming without conceding that indeed these guys are plotting anything to change and this is all that Nigeria can put together, then that regime has already been changed.
All right.
Because frankly speaking, the matter of the table is weighty. I think that they're just being diversionary. They're not substance to the matter. If people, so what is the real? Is it a protest? They are already setting up the stage for what will come on October 1. Believe me. But they don't look like having substance to the matter to the allegation that they're making.
I guess that proves, I guess, if you ask me, the reason why, particularly 6 out of the 10, right, that were arraigned, were allowed to go, and hopefully the 4 remaining would equally be allowed to go. But let's see, it's a developing story. And of course, we always get to feed you with them all. The Vanguard newspaper we have today, what do we have?
A big story how Okwebolo floored Ighodalo with 44,012 votes. And we have about a few others to the story, but I'll just take 2. Governor Finteri insists Ighodalo won. CSO expressed concern, say coalition disruptions affect results.
And also on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have marketers optimistic of lifting Dangote petrol directly as scarcity persists.
Okay, moving on, Remi Tinubu's 64th birthday. Khan urges federal government to fix economic bleeding.
We have Lagos government, Dangote refinery disagree over parks, call up a system for trucks.
Okay, moving on, a federal to the federal government, allowing Dangote sell petrol at lower rates. Details are on page 10.
All right, very hard stories here, but let's go soft a little bit. Sports, particularly. Battered Joshua hints at Dobwa. It's a rematch. I don't know, we all watched the match, exciting match on Saturday at Wembley Stadium. 96,000 spectators, jammed full, everywhere was packed full. Of course, we had it. The fight of 2 British people, and of course, Dubois took the winner that day. What do you think of that particular fight?
Well, I think it was a great outing for what's his name now? Bills. Is it Bills? Something Bills. What's his name?
Dubois.
Yes, Dubois.
Yeah.
Dubois. Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is supposed to. People were disappointed, really.
Yeah.
People expected him to, even if he has to lose, not to be beaten that way. At every round, he was on the ground.
Very true.
Every round, he fell. He was knocked down every round. And one of the most painful thing about it is that he was looking lost. It didn't look like that when Joshua we used to know. I felt perhaps he did not train effectively for this match.
So he took Daniel for granted?
Well, that could be it. Maybe you underestimated him. And also, he didn't really appear to me like someone who was conscious of the significance of that match, because it was just, it was not there, it was not put together. Some persons have accused him of always doing that so that I can get a rematch. There's more money in the rematch than what you have in the. Yes, because actually Joshua that I know, we in 3 rounds knocked that guy down. Actually Joshua beat people who are far, far better than him, or heavyweights, people who are bigger weights. But the only thing I could take from Joshua's approach is that never giving up approach. Once he gets to the ground, he stands immediately. He knocks him down, he stands immediately. Perhaps.
But the last one, of course, broke the back.
Yes, the last one, he was already. I mean, the referee would have called it off since.
Yeah, very true.
But because he wouldn't count up to 3, because it was a 10. As usual, will be on his feet again. Not stable mentally, but he'll be on his feet. And I want to go forward. But at the end of the day, all I could take from that fight is that I was disappointed. What I would take from that fight is that perhaps what Anthony Joshua did is what we need to confront life. Anytime you fall, stand up immediately. no matter how destabilized you are, once you fall, rise immediately.
No. Say Labako. Thank you so much, Evan. Say Labako. Looking at it from this point, it's normal for us to have our high and low moments in life. Can't we humans actually give Anthony Joshua benefit of doubt that, okay, he's going through his phase of maybe being, let me use the word failure, maybe not being successful at this point in his career, or just look at it, okay, maybe he's experiencing something in life that is actually not giving him that strength to fight at this point.
Well, if you went into the school of coaching, motivation, whatever it is, all of those things that they normally talk about, the psychologists talk about. Tony does not even need our benefit of the doubt. He has given himself his own benefit of the doubt. Said, I'm a warrior. I'll keep fighting. That is the most important thing. I'm a warrior. What's this rule they say? Well, everything that could go bad, when everything that could go bad actually goes bad. There's a name they call it. I can't remember. Something like that. But I think it's 82. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. Say when anything that can go bad actually goes bad. There was a time I was trying to run a project. I went to bed believing that every nut and bolt, how everything eventually cascaded and came to nothing. Till now, I can't explain it. I went to bed satisfied that I had tightened up every knot and bolt. The following morning, it's every time the class gathered before. So, again, whatever had happened. Joshua didn't win the fight. Anthony, Oluwafemi Joshua didn't win the fight. But you only more than the British even do. Okay, yes, fine. So hopefully he will get back on his feet, do an analysis, a SWOT analysis of what happened before, during and after the fight, and then get back to his end. But I believe in Joshua's ability. I believe he's a boxer for the books. What I mean is, he's a boxer who will go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. Yes, he has that potential too, and he needs to cement that legend by consistently winning.
During the interview, when he was interviewed, he said it clearly to them that there were too many errors in his parts. And I believe because he wasn't covering himself. He wasn't covering his hands were
as an experienced fighter.
Yes, his hands were not in his face. It's people like Tyson that are destructive boxers that will do that. Once Tyson has given you that 5 shots to the tummy, to the chest, to the upper, before you take the 5th one, your legs are already off the ground. So it is that calculative. You understand? But this one, we saw a professional, his hands were down, his face was not covered, and the other guy took advantage of it and was, just advancing.
But don't you think something actually influenced it for him to be this way? Because he is a professional fighter.
Yes, I think he wasn't conscious of that fight. Something was bothering him. That's a conclusion, because he was looking lost, not coordinated for that fight. First round, you're on the ground. That's very for a professional. Yes, I mean someone who would beat that level. No, I mean we can't really say exactly what was wrong with him, but I know that something psychological, something was not alright in that match, and even even the man who gave him who interviewed him and said it, when before Joshua's response, he said there were too many errors in his parts. You understand? He has seen it and. But he will keep on.
All right. Of course, there's a rematch clause, and we hope that even though lots of people are saying that he should retire, that he's old enough, he is 37-year-old. Daniel Dubois is 20-something year old, and of course, let's see how that goes. Of course, many would love to have seen Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury fight, which of course it's going to be like the best of all. But let's see how it goes. Finally, let's go to the Daily Trust newspaper. And just before we wind up today, APC wins a governorship election.
On the top strip, Sarab urges Tinubu to probe ecological funds spent by Borno government.
And also on the top strip, Israel offers 45-day closure of Al Jazeera West Bank office.
Okay, moving on. Going into the flood issue, Zulum raises committee to disburse donated funds.
And finally, petrol is 52 naira per litre in Libya. There are 2 interesting stories I'd love us to take here if we may, if time permits us. Let's start with petrol, 52 naira per litre in Libya. This is a country that has gone down economically, politically, to factional leadership in the country. But fuel is still sold for 52 naira per liter. Here we have a country called Nigeria. No war, nothing, but fuel goes for 1,000 naira.
Libya is the coming in the rating. We're number 6. Libya is not. I don't think Libya is in the first 10 oil producing. They are not in the first 10, and they have sulfur in their oil, and they are doing far. Our case is a case of corruption, a case where the president is now an investor in the sector that determines. In economics, there's a name they call goods like that determines the entire economy. There's a name, not giving goods. I mean, giving goods are the ones you buy together. You buy milk and bread, you buy those ones are together. The perishable goods are the ones, tomatoes, or there is a name they call it. It revolves around the entire economy. Yeah. That is what PMS is. And the president is an investor there. He has interest there. So we'll see the price skyrocketing. We don't know why. We don't know why. NNPCL is supposed to be a formidable authority in the field. They have abandoned everything they have to do to be a vendor to Dangote. And I've made the whole thing. Even Dangote does not have a say on how much it should sell PMS. Okay? The independent marketers are struggling. The one who owns the refinery is struggling. NNPC is destabilizing the country, and nobody is talking. Okay, so by and large, I want to find out the reason why Tinubu will still be keeping Kyari in that spot after all the policies of us, after all the problems we've had. Maybe it answers the question that since the president is an investor.
And also the petroleum minister.
And also the petroleum minister. So Nigerians are in for a long night. That's the truth.
Okay.
For a long night.
Okay, thank you, Evans. So Abako, now our friend Babalola is now involved, and he's asking and advising that the federal government should allow Dangote make the decisions and sell fuel to independent marketers. Do you think they would listen to him, even though he is an elder in this country?
God bless him. I want to think that even if he sold fuel for 10,000 naira per liter, that's a man who is fairly, who may not be touched by that sort but the reality is there are very few Nigerians who spare some thought for the poor these days. So, and he's one of them. That's why I say kudos to the old man. But the fact is that the reason Libya will sell for 552 naira per liter can be explained economically.
Please help us.
No. Don't let me go into the nitty-gritty. If you took Keynesian economics or Smithian economics or any of the classic economic thinkers, you can explain why Libya will sell at 52 naira per liter. Nigeria's own case.
The absence of witchcraft.
Yeah, you did. Don't let me. That's where I'm going. Nigeria's own case can be explained by the books. The reason we're here is because of economic witchcraft. Full stop. It's not for vagaries of demand and supply.
That's an ideal situation.
Yes, our own is because of economic official witchcraft. Full stop. Otherwise, how do you explain that before Dangote will come on stream, the NNPC will arbitrarily, just without explanation, inspire an inflation in the price of the liter? Then go to Dangote and say, only us are going to buy from you. So they take all his products to force the price to be sold within their own arbitrary increase. And then say that they bought the fuel at the price. He said they didn't buy it at. So what do you want us to explain there? Is that demand and supply? It is not. Why can't Dangote sell directly to local marketers? The marketers are now saying that they will abandon Dangote and go and buy, and then go and buy. So the NNPC is trying to dominate, manipulate, and control, which are the three branches of witchcraft, frankly speaking. So Libya can sell at 52. Even those even the actual consumers of the so-called subsidized petrol, people in Cameroon, the Republicans, are buying the thing at an affordable rate. Nigerians are the victims of Nigerians are the victims of its own corruption. So
if we resurrected Adam Smith, to ask Adam Smith what he meant by demand and supply. And he gives us that answer in that old analysis. We will not agree. We won't agree because economics has changed. Yes, economics has changed by the manipulation of the forces of humans. In our own country, we are not seeing, we can't even, those economics that were saying market forces, where are they?
Frankly speaking,
They were learning from books, market forces. They are unconscious of their environment and the prevalences in their environment. That is not education. Education is your ability to apply knowledge to your environment, question it effectively, look at the options that reside in it, and choose, how to use that to solve the current problems of society. But what they are telling us is just what economics is by virtue of what it is. At what point should you have trailer loads of tomatoes and pepper coming in from the north every day, and then they'll be counting it for you?
Very, very
At
bad.
what point should you have
Very, 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 very bad. 60 seconds, Cyril Abaku. A closure of Al Jazeera for 45 days in the West Bank by the Israeli. And speak to us just on that. Of course, you are a media person. How would that harm direct source of information and a close interpretation or narration or narrative of just what's happening in the West Bank?
so yes, I mean, soldiers raided the place and shut it down, which is unfortunate, frankly speaking. It doesn't matter what you think about what's going on. I know that the Israeli government will argue that this is war and war emergencies, whatever. But the fact is, isn't this because you want to control the flow of information? Isn't this because you want to try to? For me, it's not good for the media. I'm a journalist. I don't think it will be the best thing that happened if it was shut down. And again, it doesn't have the Israeli cause as a government, as a country, because any country whose name goes into the bad books of media censure and stuff like that, it doesn't help. Democracy is supposed to thrive on information, on free information, whether it's available to you or not. We know that a lot of countries have laws, emergency laws, that when war is at stake, anything, basically, even in Nigeria, there are such rules. When emergency is declared, when there's emergency, when there's war, even civil liberties can be curtailed. Okay, so it could be legal, but why can't we try to find a way for?
No, but this one is contrary to the UN Convention. The UN Convention on media, when you talk about war, media is precluded from the media, the Red Cross, and the media, the Red Cross, one other, can't remember, there are three.
Okay.
You understand? Even soldiers are trained not to. You see cameramen covering war, life war. They'll be at the center. They'll put their cameras there. They'll be analyzing the war bullets will be going through their heads. You understand? There's one lady there that used to be the master of that. I can't remember her name now. She's American. So the media, they are precluded from those kind of issues where if it's a combat between soldiers and international humanitarian law, the Geneva Convention, the four protocols, they are protected from, because people will not know what is going on.
Exactly.
The media is not at work. People will not know how to take informed decision whether they should go
there.
Exactly.
You understand? So they are the pointers. The media is the pointer at all times.
And don't you think this is bad for Israel right about now? Because the whole world, everyone is becoming anti-Israel right about now.
It's bad. What they are doing is bad. But because of their proximity with America, UN is practically
blessed.
Yeah, this is America controlled UN in a large. There is this thing going on now.
The hunger.
Yes, going on. Yes, you understand. Israelis are there. You understand? All countries, they are going there. You understand? Part of the issue on the table is the war.
Exactly.
The Ukraine and the Israeli
Gaza.
That's, yes, for Ukraine overflowing into Poland. For Israel, Gaza, the rest
Hezbollah.
of them. Yes, overflowing into other territories. And then it's no longer military target to military target. We see children, women being hit, and being killed. So this has gone out of the international humanitarian law. and the world is calling for an emergency. And that's part of what they're discussing in this event. So Israel, they have to talk to Israel. They have to talk to. I know that they are trying to put their head up there that you don't come and mess us up, and then we'll take.
In fact, they have something they call the ratio of 1 to 100.
Yes.
When you kill one Israeli,
Yes.
they go for 100 of
Yes,
yours.
they kill 100. That is the mentality. But that should be curtailed. The excess, the extremism, and just wanting to annihilate everybody. Because of one, I mean, the provocation is too much. I hope the UN is able to curtail this, because if it goes beyond that,
Thank you very
we'll start to look at another one.
Thank you. So let's just get a pattern shot.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I was saying, the soldiers going to Europe, it stands condemned. Yes, no matter how we want to look at it, it stands condemned. But then, what I think we really should be looking at is how we can create, well, now use like a cliche, lasting peace in the region, and pull Israel back from its continued assault on the territory, and hope that sooner than later we have lasting peace.
And you think the United Nations Security Council is as effective as when it was created in the 440s? Because of the World War?
No, of course. The dynamics of global power are really more intricate than they appear on the surface. So they may not, the way Russia and China stood against America on Syria. So America also will wait for when you're talking about the Security Council.
Yes, exactly.
So whenever China and Russia bring their own issue to America, also stand. So if you're thinking that the UNCS is going to push anything against Israel when America is, and UK are there, it's not going to work. So eventually they will look for a political solution. You hold your dogs back. I have my dogs back also, because we talk about America backing Israel. Who is backing Hezbollah? Who is backing Hamas? Who is backing the other people? You know, that weapon that beat the Iron Dome.
Yeah, and
that's where they come from.
Very true.
Palestine didn't do it. Even Iran cannot do that. Very true. So it's one of the uppers. One of America, UK, China, Russia,
Iran.
No. Iran would have done it. It's one of those five. I'm forgetting the.
There are 7 in total.
The fifth one now. That has the capacity to beat the Iron Dome. You know what I mean? So where did they come from? That's the problem. In the end, in the universe of but who are the real backers? That's where the real issue is.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much.
We pray for world peace, of course, and I hope that our leaders, would be responsive enough to understand that we can only have a sustainable world when there is peace all around. Thank you so very much, Cyril Abaku. So we'll have to let you go for our main conversation, obviously. Thank you, Bas Levan Sofeli. Thank you for hanging on for our main conversation also. Yes, so when we return.
Yeah, when we return, INEC announces APC's Monday Okpebholo as winner of Edo governorship election. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.